What are the three hottest takes that you guys have on the hospitality industry?
I think 30 minutes before the dinner, someone backs out.
And he said, we hold it up for like, I think it was like 5 seconds.
Icebreakers are awful.
That's not good enough. Like,
Yeah.
like you get some crazy people, but like they'll be so entertaining, right? Kind of dawned on me like, oh my God,
How many people can say they've ever done that?
there is a whole world underneath like that surface.
What was that first experience like?
In that moment, I had never felt like I stood for something more. That was very scary.
Right now, there's a big push to IRL.
Dinner.
Oh, this is a great story.
This is a great
Buckle up
story.
for this
This
one.
is a great story.
Welcome to Side Street, guys.
Thanks, man. Thanks
man.
for having
Thanks
us.
for having us.
I appreciate you guys hopping on.
Yeah.
How's today been?
It's been good. Been a whirlwind.
Pretty busy.
Yeah. Got a Substack article out about like our 30 days in Austin and building a community of 80 strangers in 30 days with 10 dinners. We just shot Behind the Sign with Johnny Tex. So I don't know, it's been busy. It's been busy.
So you guys have been building Blind Date for about 2 years now?
Yeah, just over 2 years. Yeah.
So for the people who don't know what that is.
Yeah. So Blind Date, just to give you a bit of the backstory, it started 2.5 years ago. My brother and I, we were on our first brothers trip in Mexico, and it was my first time experiencing hostels. And so we were going to random hostels, meeting incredible strangers, and then going on these adventures that we didn't even think about.
So was this during like study abroad or?
No, this was
I had just graduated.
yeah.
This was like the summer after his first year post grad.
Okay.
Yeah, and I actually quit my consulting job at BCG on that trip.
On the way to the pyramids.
On the way to the
No
pyramids,
shot.
on the way
On
to
the bus.
the pyramids in Mexico City, like next to some random stranger. What was that guy's name with the curly hair?
Felix.
Felix.
Yeah.
And we went to the pyramids, and then we were just meeting like so many people.
Yeah.
I was about to move to New York, and all of my friends in New York from Duke were still hanging out with the same people from college.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Alessandro and I were having such a good time, and I was kind of looking into the future, into New York, and asking myself if I still wanted to be hanging out with the same people from college or if I wanted to expand my horizons. So on that Mexico trip, I asked Alessandro, I was like, hey dude, like, what do you think about this idea where I throw dinner parties for people that don't know each other? And he was like, dude, I love it. And I was like, what should I name it? And Alessandro was like, let me think. And I was like, you know what? Like, fuck it. I'm going to ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT gives me like 10 names. And then Alessandro out of nowhere is like, Blind Date. And it's stuck in.
Wait, did ChatGPT give that name?
No.
Or did he just?
Alessandro
I
gave that.
came up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ChatGPT gave some like, it was like open table, stranger seats.
Yeah.
It's not the best at naming stuff.
It's
Yeah.
not. Yeah, it's not very.
I don't know.
It wasn't very creative back then.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. Random tidbit is like, I'm good at naming things for no reason. And then I kind of had this idea, oh, well, like Blind Date, like you
Right.
don't know the people there. Blind 8, you just make it 8 people, work backwards. And then it turns out that's like the perfect amount for a dinner party. So then, yeah, I mean, fast forward a couple months, I was moving to DC. He moved to New York. I was working a consulting job that I was like not vibing with whatsoever. And then comes New Year's, and we were both celebrating it in New York. And then it was like the night of January 2nd, the next day
Of 2020.
of 2024.
Okay.
Yeah, like 2 days into 2024. And the next day I have a train back to DC. And we were kind of having this very existential conversation of should I reveal the tidbit?
For Sudi, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, for Sudi, anything.
we decided that on that night in his East Williamsburg apartment that we were gonna microdose shrooms a little bit, you know.
Okay.
And so we like took them, we went up to the rooftop, we were kind of just like taking it all in, and then we went back down, and I had always been a big fan of Yes Theory. And
What's Yes Theory?
Yes Theory is like a massive YouTube channel that's been around since like 2015, and it's these guys that the guys have kind of evolved, but there's two constants, Thomas and Amar, and their whole thing is like pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, the theory of saying yes,
Okay.
right? Like
Seek discomfort.
seek discomfort. Strangers are just friends you haven't met yet.
Right.
And they would do all these really fun challenges that was like convincing a stranger to let me throw a party on their yacht, or going to the most boring town in America and like throwing a party for everybody, stuff like that.
Basically, what we now call side quests.
Yeah, essentially, right?
Essentially, yeah.
And so I remember that I had always like consumed that type of media on my own, and I would never talk about it. But in the back of my mind, I was like, this is somehow, some way, like my dream job.
Yeah.
Right. And then that night, I was like, wait, why have I not told you about Yes Theory? So then I started showing him the videos, and we're kind of like going back to the old stuff, which in my, like, for me is like my favorite. Their newer stuff is like super global documentary, like social fabric, political stuff like that, where the old stuff was just very playful social experiment.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of were like having this conversation of how we wanted to impact the world, and like what mark we wanted to leave. And we started thinking about, okay, well, what are we good at and what are we passionate about? Well, we both like, we both love like hosting people. We love like getting to know people, inducing positive experiences on others. And then we kind of circled back to this idea of Blind Date. At that point, he had done 2 in New York, which was just like friends of friends that didn't know each other.
Yeah.
That went like super well. And it's actually funny, like he had an Instagram for it at the time, and I had never seen it before.
Do you wear the logo?
Yeah, we can actually, we'll send you the logo so you can prop it up,
Okay.
like
Bro.
on the, because it's
God.
actually so bad.
I'm an artistic genius.
It's
is what
actually
he's trying to say.
it's so bad. So we've come a long way. Shout out Barry Hayden for our new logo.
Yeah.
But so we started talking about Blind Date a little more, and we're like, dude, what if this is more than just this like thing for friends of friends who don't know each other? I personally had never been to one yet. And so we kind of were like, okay, well, what if we try to get 8 actual strangers to say yes to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And okay, well, how are we going to do it? Well, I thought about Yes Theory, right? And like they used a lot of signs in their early days, and even to this day, like they'll go, the way they communicate is like through signs. If like it's a foreign language, or they're in a, like say China, they have a sign, whatever it might be. And I was like, what if we just went out in the middle of New York with a sign that said dinner party at ours, and see if we can get like actual like 8 complete strangers to say yes to this. And so I remember moving my train back from like 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. that next day. And we went to sleep, like we made whatever semblance of an Instagram we could. And then we're just like, okay, I guess we're going to do it. And so we went out. But the night before, it was like, you felt like something big was happening the next day.
Felt like Christmas Eve.
It felt like Christmas Eve. Like
Seriously.
like, you know, you're going to wake up and something special is happening. And we didn't know the first thing about content creation, about like recording. We just knew, okay, we got to document. We didn't have mics. We didn't have anything. We're just going to document this and like see how it goes, what happens.
Just iPhone? I mean,
Just on iPhone.
There's 2 of you, so I'm
Yeah.
guessing you had the iPhone, and then
I mean, dude, we were just like propping
outside.
it up on like random platforms, like in the subway. Like we found a little ledge to put it on, and then said like, you know, this is Blind Date, and we explained it.
Mhm.
And then shot this video, go to the park. And I remember thinking like, we have no idea who we're going to meet right now, but I know we're going to meet people, and somehow, some way, this is going to like impact us and them.
Well,
Right?
if you're in New York, like
Yeah.
there's thousands of people.
Well,
and
actually, it was January 2nd.
Dead of winter.
Cold as
it's-
hell.
It was
Yeah.
tough. It was tough.
There actually wasn't that many people in Washington Square Park. And that day, it took us 5 hours
Of just like running around New York trying to find
8 people.
trying to find
was this like a weekend or?
no.
No,
Well,
this was like a Wednesday.
it
But
was like
like
a Wednesday.
I didn't have a job at that point. Like my startup had just failed, my first startup. Alessandro was probably on like break with Deloitte.
yeah.
And so yeah, we just had like the time to do this.
Yeah.
And yeah, it took us 5 hours to get the strangers. We told them to come to our apartment that night.
Mm-hmm.
And we went home, cooked a
Cooked
mamás
real
arroz
quick.
con pollo.
Yeah.
And it just, everyone came, and it just turned into this
That's a hard
beautiful
ass.
night.
It
That's
was
a hard
sick.
ass.
I mean, at that point,
Well, we had we had made an Instagram.
yeah, we had probably like 40 followers of people from home that we had followed.
Oh,
and
what?
then, And then like,
Oh, is this
unfollowed.
like people that you guys knew?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is
Okay.
just like if you were to make an Instagram today, right?
Right.
For
Yeah.
something random, you could get 40 followers.
Mhm.
But like these people that came to that dinner, those are the bravest. Like before we like blew up on socials and all that,
Right.
like when we had like 1,500 followers, like the people that actually like took a chance on us and did something like this, those are like the
Yeah.
brave.
Because like our social credibility was like,
Nothing.
it kind of, it was like, it wasn't there. It's just like a couple pictures on an Instagram of like
Mhm.
we could have gotten that off the internet, you know, and like people had to just be like, yeah, I'm down. Like, and I'll never forget, I was the first one to ever hold up the sign. And that was very scary. Like that's like rejection therapy at its finest. It's like, now we'll hold up the sign. Like, we don't care. We're so
you guys
used
have
to
done
it.
it so many times.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God,
we've done
yeah.
this so many times. So it's like, we don't, it doesn't affect us the way it used to, but in that moment I had never felt like I stood for something more than I did then, which was like this message of like, are you willing to be spontaneous? Are you willing to be brave? And even if people aren't coming up to you and speaking to you, you start noticing them looking at you, whispering about you, texting about you, and then you subtly like touch the consciousness of like hundreds, if not like 1,000 people in that first day of doing that. And then little by little, like, yes, we got a lot of no's, we got a lot of people taking photos and being like, what the hell is this? And then we
a lot of tourists.
Yeah, a lot of tourists. We were like,
Now we're like
"Oh."
visiting New York and be like, this is the most American shit I've ever seen.
And then, but yeah, and then we were like, but then we just kept going, and it took, I think, until about the hour before the dinner that we got our 8th. But we did it, and then the dinner was just like incredible, and then I'll never forget, like, you got up and you did a toast, and like we had not planned any of this, but then in that moment, like he ended it with "Cheers to social bravery." And I had never heard that term before. It just kind of came out on the fly. And then from there, it was like, you know what, that is what this is. It's like, it's a testament to putting yourself out of your comfort zone, like what happens on the other side of the yes, and like showing people that if you look up at the world around you, like, and you take the opportunities that present themselves, like a literal sign, then our job is to show you how good can that be? Like, what's the beauty that's on the other side of that? Yeah. And then that's kind of how we've thought about it ever since, is like what's like the best possible experience that we can reward someone with for being brave enough to come to this thing. And then that's just what we've like built from. So
well, I want to talk about that first experience though, because I experienced that for the first time 2 weeks ago, and it was amazing. But that first dinner, well, first of all, I want to know, how long did it take for you guys to get that first person, and then after that, what was that first experience like? The first time you guys.
So the first people were Galen and Mia.
Galen, Mia, Rebecca, Sionix,
Tova, Tyler.
Yeah.
Arushi.
Yeah.
Who are we missing? That first person took 30 minutes.
Probably 30 minutes.
Oh, so pretty quick.
It's not. 30 minminutes is a long time.
Think about standing out there.
Standing
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you're doom scrolling for 30 minutes. Like, you can feel the 30 minutes. Because every time someone walks past you, it's a silent rejection.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're asking someone, it's not a silent rejection. You can feel that.
Right.
And because it was our first time, it's just like
nerve-wracking.
It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah. You're like, you hold the sign up, and then you're like, oh, and then you like put it back down. And you're
right,
like,
because it's not a normal thing that you do on a day-to-day. Like, that's completely
new.
Well,
actually, I don't know if I ever told you this, but about 4 months earlier for my startup, I had actually gone to Washington Square Park with a sign.
Really?
That said, my startup was basically trying to help people plan, book, and save for their PTO days, because half of Americans don't use all their vacation days. Regardless, it failed. But my sign said, "Tell me about your favorite travel story." Yeah. And I stood there, and it was like, that was kind of my like first introduction to being like a sign guy in Washington Square Park. I think what's great about New York is that there are so many people doing like crazy shit, especially in Washington Square Park. What's crazy to me is Alessandro has been, he's the only person in DC who's the sign guy, right? Yeah. Like, there are no other sign guys, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, that first dinner, it took 30 minutes. I don't know what the rest of your question was. Sorry.
The first experience.
Yeah.
Like, I guess,
the first blind date experience.
Yeah. It was, I mean, technically it was the third, right? Like, but from that concept, like,
actual
I mean,
strangers.
you speak to it, right? Like, you did 2 before that, which were friends of friends who didn't know each other. Like, how did it compare to those 2? I
remember being a lot more nervous leading up to the dinner, because I think when you're handpicking like friends of friends who don't know each other, like, you know what to expect from their personalities.
Right.
So those first 2 were like really great,
and you're like comfortable with all of them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I guess it's
or like
easier
you at least have like even if you haven't met them personally, you have the credibility of whoever's
someone
referring them, right?
This one, it was like, I mean, I had never put myself in that position. Yes, we grew up in a family that loved hosting, but it's not like we were hosting like people off the street, right? It's like, and I'm having them come into my home. And at the time I was in a small Brooklyn apartment, which is like the width of this carpet. Maybe even smaller, honestly.
Yeah.
And I was sharing that apartment with my roommate, Taylor. And like to bring 8 strangers off the street into an apartment with like a girl that you're living with.
Right.
And just be sure that like you have the instincts to tell if like someone is going to be like a safety like risk or like be a good vibe. Oh, you know who we're missing? Oh no, you said Rebecca.
Yeah, Rebecca. Yeah. She's a legend.
How did Taylor take it? Like, was she just cool with the idea?
She's the best.
She's the best.
She's the best.
This Taylor is. I lived with her for a year. Without her, the amount of bravery she showed and trust in us to basically like she was co-hosting the first she hosted the first 2 dinners with me. This third one, she was like, yeah, like have at it. And I think there are a lot of people, most people would say, Carlo, what the fuck? Like, no, like, you're not bringing in 8 strangers. And I'm always so grateful to Taylor for saying yes, because if she had not said yes that night, Lord knows when we would have actually tried it. Right. Like, and she could have easily said no. But she took it well. She took it in stride. I think she came out with us.
Yeah, she did come out with us. Yeah.
We went dancing after. It was just a great time.
Yeah.
It feels so long ago though.
Yeah, it does feel a long time ago.
It was 2 years and 2 months ago.
Yeah, but I think to like speak to, I guess I'm assuming the question was more kind of like, what was it then versus what it is now?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So
because like when we talked, like I was amazed by how well that dinner went.
Yeah.
and you guys
don't be too surprised, man.
Yeah, no.
Well, no, like it's not a normal experience.
No,
like,
no, I know.
You walk in not knowing what to expect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
cool. So when it goes like 120% better than what you expected, you're like, whoa, like this, like you guys have a talent, and I've said this like so many times.
Oh,
thank you, man. Thank
you.
And
then one of you two were like, yeah, but we've done this so many times.
Yeah,
it's reps.
I mean, it is like you got to think about it. Like 2 things is this, and it's like when it's 120% better than you think. Someone told me this after they came to the dinner one time, and I found this to be one of the best compliments we've ever gotten. It's like it's very rare when something sounds too good to be true, and then it's exactly what you thought.
That's
right?
Good.
Or if not better. And I was like, wow, like that's really cool that we can do that. But in terms of like how the first dinner went versus what it is now, like that was pure just like we're gonna use who we are and our personalities to like make this work.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna be the hosts, we're gonna like do as much as we can to like, you know, make sure the conversation's flowing. But yes, it's on hosting, but you also got to think like the type of people that say yes to something like that, especially when there's no credibility. Like there's an Instagram with 40 followers and like 2 guys with like a very boyish sign like out and about. Like
wait,
those are the
real quick.
Yeah.
How is that sign compared to the sign now? Like
I have gotten a lot better.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot better.
Like if I wish we could see like a progression of our signs. Like from the first sign to now, like when I create a sign, like it's still not perfect. And like we're not putting like, you know, hearts and decorating it or
people are like
colors.
Oh, you should do a lot, you guys can do a lot, and we're just like no, but I think the simplicity and like the fact that it is very boy per se, what we've heard a lot is like kind of what's almost endearing about it is like it's just as simple as writing some words on a sign and then seeing what happens. I myself have employed like my much neater like girlfriends in DC to like come do my sign for me because I actually it would be very bad if I did it myself.
His handwriting it's
not great.
Suspect.
But yeah, I think that first dinner we were really just relying on like our personalities to like carry it, and we just knew that it was gonna work somehow, some way. Now what it's evolved to is like yes, but we've done I mean at this point we've hosted total like probably around 120 dinners, and split that in half and just like give it to each of us, right? And so like you do 60 dinners and that like you're gonna get better at something, right? You're gonna get much more perceptive as to like what do people need, what are the points of like improvement, what's the flow, how can we do this better, like after the first dinner, I took it back to DC and I was like, I'm going to start it here. And like you said, I was the only sign guy in DC. Like I became recognized very quickly because no one else is doing that. And when I got my 8 people, like I was running that on my own. And I remember just being like, okay, well, like the game plan is get them here, like get them drunk and like, let's just have a good time.
Yeah. I mean, bro, you were like 22 at the time.
Yeah, I was 22. I had just, dude, there's a video of me. Shout out. There's a, dude, yeah, like there's a video or we take 8 photos at every dinner. You did this. There's a photo of me at our 10th DC dinner. That was the eve of my birthday, which is by far the booziest blind date we've ever had. Like I'm talking my friend Vikram, who was hosting it at his place, had to run across the street to get another handle of liquor.
How many handles did y'all go through that night?
Two and then 10 bottles of wine, which was
10 people.
Yeah,
that's
it was insane. But there's a photo of me like putting up my 8, except that it's like, what did I do?
It was like this.
I put up like a 5 instead.
It's so funny. We'll send it.
It's actually insane. Yeah, we'll put it up on the screen. But I remember like, yeah, I mean, I'm a 22-year-old kid, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, easy formula. Use my personality. We have good people. Get the wine flowing, and then it'll just go.
Right.
And I really give a lot of credit to the people who came to those early dinners because, you know, he was in a walk up, right? So it's like there's no people in his apartment that are kind of like, oh, you're being too loud or you can't host this here. There's no really like any rules or regulations on what you can do. I was in like a luxury apartment building in DC at the time. And so to rent like the actual dining room was $100 like a night. And that's not something at that point we were charging like what, $20 to come, like something like that, just to cover the food. And I couldn't afford that, right? And so I was like, okay, well, we're going to do it in the adjacent common area and just hope that people don't come in or aren't using it. And there were these 2 couches and 2 chairs on each side. And I legitimately would like run across the street to Trader Joe's, steal their like wooden forks and knives, and then bring like paper plates. And like we were eating off our laps for like the first like 10 dinners in DC. But it started to evolve, and then I moved into a new apartment. And I think it all changed kind of when like you had talked about like reading Danny Meyer's book.
Yeah.
And then I read Will Guidara's book, Unreasonable Hospitality. And those principles of like how precise you can really be with like your hospitality and the experience that you can induce on someone by like doing something that for them, like maybe just from a general standpoint is objectively like a small touch, but makes the world of a difference. So I'm talking like, why do we ask you before the dinner, like what your dominant hand is? Because we know which side to put your wine glass on and which way to orient your fork and knife. Right. And then on top of that, it's like being super perceptive of your wine levels and all that. And like filling you up if you need to fill up, like gauging like, okay, how long has it been since they've had water? Giving you water or whatever. I think the best example of this, which I learned a lot from him when he told me this, was there was a girl who had signed up in DC to come to a dinner.
Oh, this is a great story.
This is a great story. Up for this is a great story. There's a girl who had signed up to come to DC for a dinner, and she met me out with the sign, and I think her name was Caroline, and she ended up texting me like the day before the dinner saying like, hey, I'm so sorry. Like she had already paid like her $30 or whatever it was. I'm so sorry. Like I can't make it anymore. My sister just went into labor and I have to take an emergency flight out to go be with her. And I was like, oh yeah, no worries at all. But then I'm like, I've never been put in this position of like, do I refund somebody? Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fill the spot, like whatever it is. And I texted him, I'm like, what do I do? And he said, you know what you do is like, not only do you send her back the $30, send her $35. And so that she can buy a coffee for herself because she's probably going to be like up late taking a red eye, or up super early taking a red eye. So like just add that little touch. And I was like, what are you talking about, bro? Like
what? We ain't got no money.
And I was like, we don't have it like that. And then he was like, no, trust me. And then I did it. And I sent in the Venmo, like, you know, refund plus like coffee for your travels. And then I remember, 2 days go by and I'm like, you know, not that I was expecting to hear anything, but I was like, oh, like, you know, I haven't heard anything, like whatever. And then out of nowhere, I get a video from her, and it's a video of the baby, the newborn baby that wasn't alive when I sent this Venmo. And it's her and the baby, and it's like her with a coffee, and it's like, I think the baby's name was Will or something. And she was like, Will, like, say thank you for the coffee. And then after that, she ends up like not only coming to the next dinner, but like I think 2 or 3 of her friends came to like the succeeding dinners. And so it was like $5, right? But that touch makes like the world of difference, right?
Yeah.
And so to answer your question of like how has it evolved, it's like we have such an understanding of like we want to always go above and beyond for you guys, because that makes, we're the hosts, and the quality of the experience is like fully in our hands. And if we can do one thing, maybe even a small thing, to make your night like unforgettable, then like why would we not do that? And so it's just evolved in that way of like just being super precise with like our hospitality.
No, like even when I got that call, like you guys were like really cool. I think I talked to you, right?
Yeah.
Really cool. And then I got the form, and the amount of questions, like which side do you like have your fork on? Like what are you, right-handed, left-handed? Things like that. And I was like, this is not something that you normally come across. But that was really cool.
Yeah, I think that hospitality is something that is generally underrated. Yeah. And I mean, like he said, like there's this notion of, Danny Meyer says setting the table. You should read that, like 100%. Will Guderit's Unreasonable Hospitality. But the idea is that you go above and beyond for your guests, and you pay attention to the small details, because the small details matter, right? And also, like, one thing for us, like if you think about any other like supper club that's an app, right? Time Left 222. You show up to a restaurant, you go to the host stand.
Yeah.
You say, I'm at table 6. They take you there. And then you are just now confronted with a table of like 5 other strangers. You have no idea what their names are. You have like no idea who they are. You know roughly that you're in the same age range. You know roughly that you might have like shared interests, which you don't, but I can do a whole thing about that. For us, it is so important that from the second that you walk in, the second that you have an interaction with one of us as the host, you feel welcome.
Yeah.
Right. And we know your name, like off the bat. And we introduce you to people, because there's a version of blind date where you come in, you walk in, and we're like, what's your name again? And then it's like, and then we're like, oh, like 1 second, we're getting some stuff ready. And then you have to like go try to navigate the pockets of conversation that have already formed.
Right.
We want to welcome you in with a hug.
No, because like even when I came into the blind date 2 weeks ago, you were locked in. You were cooking. You were getting our dinner ready. I came late with Kendall.
Yeah.
And so the pockets had already kind of formed. Yeah. And that's when you approached me. We talked for a bit, and then you introduced me to everyone.
Yeah.
Like it was so precise. Which I've also experienced other similar platforms like blind date, but it's not the same. Like you walk in and like you have this tension, like you don't know what to say, like what types of people are they, how are they going to react to what I'm going to say. It's awkward.
Yeah
Right.
And you have to cut through that awkwardness,
and sometimes it works, but most of the time it doesn't.
Yeah, but listen, like we're not going to sit here and lie to you and say that blind date is never awkward, right? Like sometimes we call it cracking the dinner.
Yeah.
For your dinner, when you came, incredible group off the bat. Like we really did not have to like do much on our end to crack it, right?
Yeah.
But there are some groups where it's different, and that's when your real hosting abilities have to take over. So yeah, sure. For yours, it was the second you walked into the door, you felt that energy. For some, it might take like 30, 35 minutes. The result is the same at the table, but like how we get there, it's more on us to like make sure that people are like having conversations with each other about things that we know about them, like that they might have in common.
Right.
And that's when it's really like honestly fun for me.
It's like mental chess. Yeah. It's like you're dealing with like eight. I'd hate to say pawns, but like you're dealing with like you're dealing with like
eight beautiful, like eight kings and queens,
complete eight kings and queens. Yeah. Who are gonna be so different and diverse in like thought and personality and background every single time. There's no one formula fits all, right? It's like one dinner is gonna be completely different from the next, but you got to rely on like your ability to navigate that to crack the dinner. And so like. What we mean by that is there's a moment at every dinner, which without fail is true, where like I view it as this, like if I can leave the table and I can go to the bathroom, I can go to the kitchen, I can start like cleaning up stuff, whatever it is, and I still hear that like that energy, like that roar of a party, like that the sound of laughter and voices and questions like filling the room, and I'm not even at the table. The dinner's cracked. But if the second you leave and everything relies on you being there and it's just dead, then like you haven't done your job, right? And so it's so interesting to kind of like I said, I mean, you know, we've done this so many times. So it's like the little things you find out along the way of like human social dynamics, like psychology, like stuff like that plays such integral parts into like what makes people feel like euphoric. Right. From the second they walk into the second they leave. Like I think one of the biggest pieces of feedback that we've gotten since we got to Austin and like have brought this here a month and a half ago is like I felt like I was just catching up with old friends. These are complete strangers that these people did not know, and by the end of the night they're over here like
you don't want to leave.
Yeah, you don't want to leave.
This is awesome. Yeah, I mean that happens all the time, which is funny. Like you were on the call with me, right?
Yeah.
But some people would be like, "Oh, like when does it end?" And I'm like, oh, probably like 10:30, 11. But
that's
like,
around the time I was planning on leaving.
Sure.
On the flyer it says, what like 8 to 10? I was like, oh, 10, 10:30. I'll be gone by then. It's all good.
Yeah.
It was a Sunday night. I had work
exactly,
the next day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, cool. Because like I have this like party that I have to go to like at 11. And I'm like, yeah, like feel free to like peel off like whenever you want to.
But we know
and
that.
we know that by the end they will have like stayed with us the entire night.
And we're like, didn't you
and they're like, oh well, you know,
like Shayna.
Yeah,
for example, at this past dinner we had this awesome guest, her name's Shayna. And this past dinner, this last Friday was like one of the most wild, like they were such high energy. Like we're out till like 3 a.m. with these guys. And one of the girls, Shayna, she was like, oh well, you know, I have plans to go out with friends later. I'm just gonna like do that, and then at the end of the night we're out there and it's like 2:30 and we're at like Lucky Duck backyard or whatever it is. And I'm like, Shayna, like what's up with your friends, like where are they at? And she goes, oh well, you know, they're at East End Ballroom, and but you know, like they told me to come, but I see them all the time. Like, I'm having a good time here, and like why would I leave? I have my new friends. Like, and that's like
awesome
to hear that. It's just so fun, and like it's such a treat because it really shows you that, you know, we go about life just being. You look at someone, for some reason, people look scary. Like a lot of people do. Like you don't want to go up to someone.
It's the unknown.
Yeah, it's the unknown. Like you don't want to cross that boundary and face rejection, whether it's romantic, whether it's like a friend thing, whatever it is. Like, but the second you actually like take that leap and like speak to somebody, like there is a whole world underneath like that surface that is yet to, and you're not gonna click with every single person. Like Lord knows that we haven't, right? And like and like there's like not every single guest at a dinner is like someone that we would personally be friends with, or that everybody at the dinner is gonna be best friends. Mm-hmm. But if you can make that night, even if it's just one night, like a moment that they will never forget because of the vibe, because of the energy, because of like the simple like circumstance and environment of it all, then like that in its own is just like such a cool thing to be able to do. It's a
core memory. Like you will never forget it.
Yeah. And what we found with Blind Date is that like everyone loves to like tell their friends what they're doing. Like they're doing this crazy thing, right? Yeah. Because like on the surf, Amber Alert.
Yeah, Amber Alert.
What'd you do?
That went off at one of the dinners the other day, and I was like, all right, guys, like who recorded?
Oh my God. 25-year-old. Anyway, what was I saying?
People like telling their friends.
Oh yeah, like we want to create like there's this notion of like creating fans of your experience, right? Like there's some things that you go to and you'll never tell anyone, right? Yeah. If you went to McDonald's like after this to get like a cheeseburger, you wouldn't tell anyone.
Right. It's not important.
And then there's levels of like there's this like what was it? The 11 levels of like
the 11-star
experience, right?
Is this from the hospitality book?
No, this is from somewhere. I heard it from my buddy Asher, who came to a dinner 2 years ago. But it's essentially this mental exercise, and it'd be helpful for you, like as a podcast host as well.
Okay.
Which is like, hey, what's a 5-star experience for this podcast, right? Mm-hmm. And then so you say what it is, like as a guest, what I would feel as a 5-star, and then I say, okay, what's 6 stars? 6 stars is that like for the next day, I can't stop thinking about it.
Amazing conversation, like food right here.
Exactly. Okay. And so you think you've reached the top. Then I'm like, okay, what's 7 stars? Now it's like, I will not stop talking about this for the next week. And then you go.
I don't even know what that looks like.
No. And it's a good mental exercise because then it goes to 8 stars, 9 stars, 10 stars. 11 stars is like.
I'll give you $1 billion. That's 11 stars.
Sure. But 11 stars is like, if I were to live infinite lives, I would want this day to happen every single day of every single life. That's an 11-star experience. So it's impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah. You take yourself to that place and you'll start like, it's hard, but you'll start thinking of some like crazy shit.
Yeah. Like, you'll unlock some.
What is blind dates? 11-star experience.
11-star experience. I think
we talked about this. I think he wrote it down because he called me. I was at a wedding in like in May, I think, and it was a pretty tame wedding, so I had some time to myself. and he called me and he was like, "Dude, I just heard about this exercise. Like, I want to put you through it." And so he asked me, and then I guess this was my response.
What is it? This is interesting. Okay, so it's invitation. That is a plane ticket, and it includes the exact amount of money for you to start your dream. Chase your passion. So let's say it's like, if we know your passion was to open a shelter for homeless people, we'd give you a ticket to India and the amount of money to be able to do that in that place. So making their dreams come true, break people out of the life that they have and do what they're passionate about and what they love. Pairing people who have similar visions to you in this experience and like getting to meet the, like if your dream is like to become the best podcast host, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You get to have dinner with like the 7 other best podcast hosts in the world.
Stephen Bartlett.
Yeah. You name them.
Joe Rogan.
They're there.
You name them, they're there.
And they will tell you everything that you like need to succeed. You have all the money to do that. Like, and the way that we actually invite you is through like, maybe it's like
imagine this, like you bring out your cards, right? You're like, okay, it's time to start the podcast.
Yeah.
And on that card that you didn't even expect to see anything that was out of the norm of what you already know is on there is an invitation. And it was somehow planted there. And then you go on this journey that follows that to get to this dinner, which is then in like one of the most mind-boggling like venues of all time. Like
your favorite band is there.
Like imagine you're in like one of the like you're in the fucking like Taj Mahal or like you're in the Burj Khalifa, whatever it might be. And then your favorite band is there. And then you have some of the top like chefs in the world creating course meals and then mixologists and this and that. And then all of that culminates with like you being at a round table of like your heroes. And the exact amount of money to start your dream and leave this life that you've always wanted to step away from. So that's like our 11th star. Like how crazy could this be?
Well, yeah, and that's amazing. It's impossible, right? Mm-hmm. But the idea, and it's really interesting, is that it will help you just like nail down the direction to which you like start to go.
What's the target? 11 stars is impossible.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the target is like slightly below that.
Yeah, I think so. At this time in Blind Date, we were very much focused on not doing a ton of dinners, but making each dinner a like an incredible experience itself that would be like viral content, right? Yeah. So like one thing that, you know, we think about that is doable, right, is like, hey, what would it look like if we were promoting the Monaco Grand Prix? We go to Monaco the week of the Grand Prix. We're with our sign. We're getting 8 strangers to come to a dinner party really cool. At a secret location. And the dinner party is actually like a candlelit dinner at the finish line of the Grand Prix the night before the race.
That would be really cool.
It's possible.
Right.
Or like, and this is just for like the content side of things.
Right.
Right. Like, what does it look like for, and we actually like pitched this, but what does it look like for like a baseball team, right? Like we're at like the opening game. We're there with our sign. People are walking past us. A few fans like come up, they sign up for a dinner, and then they get invited to a dinner that is on the baseball field.
That'd be amazing.
The night before a game. Maybe you have like some baseball players come and say hi.
Yeah.
And then the next day they get to have like a private like suite for that experience.
And you say you've already pitched this?
Yeah, who's y'all
pitch? Like loosely like
Ari,
Savannah Bananas or something.
Savannah Bananas. Okay. Ari Ackerman,
they
who's a Duke grad and owns the Miami Marlins. We're not there yet, but it's possible.
Yeah.
Right. I think
it's a very realistic possibility.
I think
exactly.
So too. And it perfectly like aligns with the idea of like, still, no matter how big we get, there will never, ever, ever be a time we go out and people do not say no. There will always be people saying no. There will always be people who pass us, who ignore us, who laugh at us, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But it is so in line with like the rewarding the people who say yes.
Rewarding spontaneity.
Because like it's like, oh, this shitty little sign, like what could these guys be doing? Like they're probably trying to sell me something or waste my time. But if you just take the chance, oh shoot, now I'm like on like home base at a like candlelit dinner in my childhood team's like stadium.
Yeah,
like,
dude, and it's once in a lifetime, right? Like how many people can say they've ever done that? No one. So that's from a media and content and like creating incredible fan experiences. We want to get to that level for like the singular dinner. That's just like what we do on Instagram.
Yeah.
On the flip side, for like people on a much grander scale, we want to make the feeling that you have at a hostel bar accessible to you in your like everyday life where you live.
I've never been to a hostel bar.
So what you experienced
at Blind
Date, that's what a hostel bar feels like.
Got it.
Like that energy where you did not know anyone coming into the day, but now you're just like fast friends, like having a good time, drinking. Like that's what a hostel bar. That's what a hostel bar feels like. And you can go talk to all of the Blind Date people who travel, and there's a lot of people. Like they'll tell you that that's how it feels, and that they miss that feeling. Yeah. They constantly yearn for that feeling. And so that's what we're trying to do.
But it's not accessible, right? It's like you can't. Well, you can, but the vast majority of people are not gonna be traveling like all year round. Yeah. And like, but so many people like yearn for that experience, and so it's like, how do you bring it to them in their own backyard? And like, I mean, we ask all these questions before you come to a dinner so that we can get to know like not only who you are, but like why do you want to be here? What are your motivations? And like so many times, like if we could like do a control F on like the word hostel on all of our responses, I guarantee you there would probably be like near 1,000 like results, because so many people like this reminds them of it. And yeah, I mean, it's just cool. Like to replicate that is really interesting.
Do you guys think you guys are there now? Like, have you replicated that experience?
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
For the like those dinner parties, 1,000%.
I want to kind of pivot a little bit.
Yeah. Hit us.
Let's talk about the business side of Blind Date.
Yeah. Okay.
So right now you guys are charging $60 per person, right?
Yes.
Before it used to be $20. You guys have kind of put it up.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
Well, we have some unfortunate news.
We have some developments.
All right, well, hit me. What's the unfortunate news?
You need to kick us off the pod.
Yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah. So
actually, you have the. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I mean, I can
He's
say
like,
it.
you can deliver the bad news.
No,
I'm
I mean,
here for the good ones.
I think so essentially the way that blind date works, right, is for those who don't know, like what we were doing for a long time was charging kind of like a one-time, depends on the city, right? So in DC, I think we got up to like $85 for the experience because it was like very, very high production value. The food was like incredible. It was like my girlfriend Isabel was like incredible chef. She's making every meal. The apartment's insane. Like it's a very high quality. So we were like, okay, this is a price point that makes sense, right? Okay. Especially if you go out on a night in like a big city like that, you're easily going to be dropping this, if not more, for like far less. So we're like, okay, cool.
Makes sense.
When we got to Austin, we were like, okay, well, like we don't know what people are going to be willing to pay. So we started with like, did a couple dinners at like $10, which is what we do when it's just like, let's just make a splash. And then we're like, okay, we feel it out. And then we landed at 60. The thing is though, is that we're actually not allowed to charge a one-time fee for the dinners.
What do you mean you're not allowed?
So like we can't charge you a dinner ticket because we are not licensed to like give you food, right? And so if we charge for a singular experience, then like it's a culinary experience and now we're like violating guidelines. So essentially like what we do is it's like a membership. Like you become a member of the blind date community. You get all these invites to these happy hours, to the ranch party, like all that stuff that you've taken part in. So that's all included in your $60.
Okay.
But the reality of it is like we quit our jobs to do this, and doing that is not financially sustainable, right? It's
that was going to be my next question, because you would have to depend on the next person that you bring.
Exactly.
To
but we're like, we don't want, what we value is like, yes, we want as many people as possible to experience blind date and to like feel that thing. But the thing that really makes blind date special is it's a community unlike any other. Like you go to the ranch party, right? And you're now surrounded by like all these people who you don't even know who they are, but you know you have something in common, right? And so it makes like connecting with them like so much easier, because you're like, oh, what dinner did you go to? How was your dinner? You know this person? I know, like whatever it is, right? You start to find all these little webs that are like interconnecting everybody.
And everyone there is there to talk to more people.
Exactly. Like
everyone's so open.
There are no social dynamics that you have to cut through.
Yeah.
Like if you went to a ranch party that was ticketed $100 and it was run by a club,
it wouldn't be as open.
Like,
you're like, okay,
you'd be like in your little corner, right?
Yeah,
like
be on the weather app.
With the people
like,
that
people have their little pockets.
You go to the bathroom,
screen time goes up. Like, dude, like,
check your hair.
And it's because you don't have a common denominator of like not only the why people are there, but like the who is there. The who that comes to blind date is like, these are open people. These are people who want to connect. These are people who are welcoming. Like we vibe check there's never been a single person at our dinner at our table that we have not vibe checked. And we've turned people away because we don't think they would fit the social dynamics. We think they would maybe pose a threat, a liability, whatever it might be. We protect the table, which you guys like don't even know, but you feel it without knowing it. And so all that to say, like the community is what's super valuable, right? It's like you've managed to curate this like insanely open, spontaneous, like just incredibly welcoming group of people, and you have these events that they go to. And so we're like, okay, well, we can funnel all these people in and keep doing the dinners and whatever, but like that's a lot of work and it's not sustainable, right? Especially like I talk about it all the time. Like I'm 24, he just turned 26. There will come a day where we're 40 and like
we're gonna be out there with,
and
like,
we're not like these young guys with the spunk who are like out and about like pitching people on a dinner party. Like, nah, there will come a point where that's creepy, right?
Sad.
And like like we have to unfortunately figure out, what does it look like as we grow, as we get older. We don't want this to die. So we need to invest in the community, right? And so with that being said, like actually over the last few days, we decided we're going to actually move to like a membership model, right? So we are going to do like recurring, like monthly, I guess like a monthly fee to like be a part of the community, which we like, sure. I mean, some people will get scared by that, whatever it is. But like, I think if you're willing to pay like, which it'll be like $30 a month, right?
Yeah.
If you're willing to pay $30 a month to be a part of this community, like, you do at the end of the day, like you even more like refine it. Like it's like the people who are really, really, really invested in like this mission and like the types of people that they know they'll meet, they're going to be getting invited to all these events. And then currently, like, we're also building this insane platform. Like, it is mind-boggling how insane it is, where you'll essentially be, it's so nuts. Like, it's so nuts, but you'll essentially be able to, like, yes, you get invites to all the events and whatever, but it's a digital community as well. So not only will you be able to, like, connect with the people that are in your city, but Blind Date is global, man. Like, we've done dinners in London, Barcelona, Montreal, Guatemala, all over the US, whatever it is. We have our strong communities in DC, New York. You now have access to every single, you find yourself in Barcelona. Okay. Hey, we have someone for you. You guys have these shared interests. Here's a way to reach out. You guys hang out. Let us know how it goes. Right. You have a friend in every place. That's the idea. And so the way it'll kind of like come about is we want to have this beautiful like representation, like this social web, like a social graph of all of your connections within Blind Date. Because yes, like at the end of the day, you're a part of the community. You're in a community of 800 people who have come to the dinner. Mm-hmm. But within that community, you actually have your own mini Blind Date community, right? And so when you open this thing, you're going to be able to see, here I am. Here are the lines that connect me to everybody that I've met so far at my dinner. Here are the webs that connect me to the people that were at this other event that I went to. And you're just going to see your Blind Date like network for like, or community grow as you keep reinvesting in it, right? And there's all these other features that we're going to do. There's a lot of really cool stuff on like the hosting backend as well, like actually insane. But with that being said, like the model that we are moving to is it's like essentially $60 for your first month, which includes your dinner and your like events, right? And then on it's $30 a month. And that's kind of like the model that we've landed on.
And it's a 3-month minimum membership.
Yeah.
Because we don't want people to come to the dinner and never see you again. 3 months feels like a fair trial period for you to see if this is for you or if it's not for you. If 3 months is not like, and this is not for you, by the way, like this is for like new people that.
Let's go.
Wait, hold on. sorry.
Let me take that back.
I'm saying that 3-month minimum membership is not for you.
Yeah.
Because and as Alessandro said, I think one of the issues that was kind of going under the radar over the past 2 years was that there was a lot of people who wanted to do Blind Date because it was like the cool thing to do, or because it was just like a fun thing to do,
like a one-off,
or it was like a challenge for them. And once they came, they got what they needed out of it, and then kind of left, and we never see them again. And yes, we share that like one memorable night, and if we see them, we're of course like very cordial and like love to see them. But in this model, the community actually is just like so much better because there's a level of investment in it. And I think it just like, it's going to do wonders for like community event, like attendance rate, right? If you feel like you're investing monthly in this like community, then you will feel more inclined to come to these events. I think for us, the reason that we never did this, because you might be wondering in your head, like, guys, why? Like, it's been 2 years. Why didn't you do this in the first place? 2 years ago, we talked to this guy who ran
Closer.
It's this social club, similar style, targeted at a different like intellectual elite audience. But we talked to him, and he looked fucking miserable. And we were like, we do not want to turn into that guy.
Like, we were bright-eyed. We had like just
we had just started, and we were like, we really don't want to like become like
we don't want to dread the
owners
doing,
of
right? Like,
owners of a social club, right?
Yeah.
And so we were shying away from this model for years, but I think like it just makes the most sense for everyone involved.
I think what it's evolved to is like, for me, there's a fine distinction between like a social model and a social club and a community. Right? Like a social club, you're bound by the place and the status. A community, you're bound by like values, right? And like interest to an extent. And so it's like at least like my end goal, right, is I want to create a community of like the most spontaneous, welcoming, adventurous, like curious individuals all over the world. And like, I think one of the coolest things that I've found and that we've found, because like we've been fortunate enough to like and we go to like really good schools and like meet all these very diverse people that have grown up in crazy parts of the world and travel and like meet all these people through hostels and whatever, to the point where like now there's very few places in the world that we can go and we won't have a friend, right? Yeah. And that's a cool feeling. Like I'm going to Geneva in 2 months to run the marathon. I'm gonna run it. He doesn't think I'm gonna do it.
Have you signed up yet?
Yeah, I'm okay. Registered. It's just like training's been tough, but we're gonna do it. Long story short, yeah, whatever. Long story short, like it's me and then like it's me, my girlfriend, and then like 3 friends. Okay. Right? And Geneva's a very expensive place. And they were like we got to figure out where we're staying. People were kind of stressing about like the cost and whatever. And then kind of dawned on me like, oh my God, like one of my best friends from college, actually like born and raised in Geneva, lives there currently, works there. Like let me reach out to him, see if he has any recs of like cheaper places to stay. Mm-hmm. And so I text him. I'm like, hey, Marco, like, do you have any places that would be good? He goes, dude, how many people are you? I was like, oh, we're 5 total. He goes, how many nights? 4. Crash at mine. And I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, I would love to see you. And I'm like, dude, that's incredible. And so like, that's what I want for everybody in this community. Yeah. Is like, you find yourself moving to New York or moving to DC or moving to anywhere in the world or visiting. And like, you don't want to just do like the fucking Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. Like you don't want to do all the touristy shit. You want to go hang out with Iris, who is a Blind Date community member who said yes in New York and then said yes again to coming in Barcelona. And you want to like spend the day with her, like go get a coffee or like go to a party with her, whatever it is. And so that's what we want. Like a tight knit group of people who, yes, are global, but like are unrelentlessly willing to help each other and like show each other the world in like a really cool way. Yeah. So that's kind of like the idea, but we can't do that if we don't have capital, right? And that's the unfortunate thing is like at the end of the day, it is a company, it is a business, and like we've done this out of the like kindness of our hearts and the goodness of our hearts for like a very long time. We have, but we're drowning, right? Like and now after this model, like we've been selling people and this and that. It feels nice to like finally be making money again. But it is a hard kind of point where you're like, yes, it's incredible. And like, if we had it our way, we would never charge for Blind Date. Mm-hmm. Because in my opinion, like we get the most unique individuals at $0. Yeah. Like you get some crazy people, but like they'll be so entertaining, right? And they'll create the stories. But will they become a part of the community? I don't know, right? But for a one-off, it's really great. And we want that to be as accessible to people as possible. But there is a point where you're like, okay, well, we can only do this for so long. And if we don't start to grow the business and scale and like figure out how this looks without us being at the center of every table, mm-hmm. then it will fail.
Then it will die.
It will die.
And we don't want that.
And we don't want that.
You don't want that to happen.
I don't want that.
You're a smart guy. So like, so people like, so when people are kind of like, that's funny. You know, are you people, I think it's interesting because it's also another thing that we've realized being here in Austin is there is an affinity towards us in terms of Blind Date. Like you come to our table, you have that experience with us. And like, yes, the idea is that we'll be here in Austin for a second and then we'll go on to like the next city and take it there and whatever it is, right? But people might be hesitant to commit to the community if they know that we're leaving. So unfortunately, we have to write ourselves out of the equation to an extent because we can't have people like investing in Blind Date on the condition that we are a part of every single moment that they are a part of it. Then that goes into like the host training and like expanding to different people who are like past guests who are incredible hosts, training them the right way, having them host their own dinners, creating sub communities of their own within Blind Date, which have their own affinities to these people. And then you just grow from there. So it's a very complex like web of things that are going on, but we see a fairly clear path to getting to this point.
I see a crystal clear.
Yeah. And
for the first time, by the way.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for 2.5 years. And this is like the first time I feel like where we're not like we would always be like changing direction.
Dude, yeah, it's like every, okay, we're gonna
week, every 2 weeks.
It's crazy. It's like okay, we're gonna expand hosts. We did this in DC. We tried it. It went really well. Well, I I thought it didn't go well, but I'm a perfectionist, so it's like my reviews for my dinners were like 100% exceeded expectations. Yeah, I quickly train 15 hosts in DC, and we scale from like 3 to 10 dinners in 1 month, and then I get the feedback results, and it's like, damn it, only 83% of people said exceeded expectations. This is
the first time you've run this idea.
This is the bus.
Yeah. And I didn't even. He was like, dude, I just don't think it's worth it. We're tarnishing our brand. Like, people aren't really enjoying the dinners. And not till 3 months later, I was like asking for like a testimonial or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, just grab it from that like form from the like that month pilot we did. And so I look at it and I'm like, 83%. Alessandro. Are you? I was expecting for it to be like 1 star. Yeah. Like 20% said it exceeded expectations. 30% said it met. 50% hated it. Sure. At that point, yeah, it's stupid. But we did that in a month's time, and still 83% of people came in there and felt that like, oh, it was 120% of what I thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But hey,
you know look what? Now, like if we hadn't done that, if I had not made that very sound decision, then then we wouldn't be where we are now, because like we had to go through like that and then pivoting to like, you know what, we're gonna be a media brand. Yeah. We're gonna like lean into the content because we value telling the story of like the social fabrics that we're tapping into, and like the stories that we have seen, the things that we have seen are a story that very, very few people can tell, right? If not any more than us. Like Bourdain could tell the stories that or like could tell the perspectives that we have gained from this. Like going to a new city, going to London, where everyone and their mom is like, hey, go to London and this will fail. It will not work, right?
Who told you that?
Like our friends from London.
Okay. A lot of people, yeah.
Like our friends from London or people that have lived there, whatever. And we're like, okay, cool. Like then we'll show you, right? And so then what do? We go to London. We throw 2 dinners. We pull it off. We get a videographer. It's like, kid you not, like that content looks like cinematic and it's meant for YouTube. And currently like still being edited. I was editing it. We put out 1 YouTube video of like our time in New York, like doing this. And we were like, okay, all in on YouTube. Like that's where it's going to be. It's too complex for short form, right? Mm-hmm. So we got to go long form. And then we're like, okay, well shit. Now we're focusing on long form, but we are not making any money.
Right.
And long form is something that we have 39,000 followers across platforms on like Instagram, TikTok, very heavily on Instagram. Mm-hmm. We have 75 subscribers on YouTube. Granted, the first video did fairly well for our first YouTube video. Got like, 1.2K views or whatever. But it's like, we realized like, yo, money's running out. Savings are running out. Every effort that we make in this month, which was the 10 dinner month in Austin, needs to be directly tied to us making money in some way, somehow. Because if not, we're going to go under.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, well, YouTube needs to wait now. And then it's like, okay, well, now what's the model here? 10 dinners and it was content. And then it's like, okay, well, now we're like, okay, well, this is really hitting in Austin. People love this. Why would we leave it if people want it so bad? And it's like a need, right? Like people want to experience things like this. So we're like, okay, well, we value the community. The community has always been there. Why have we not tried to like actually amplify it? Because at the end of the day, like if we're not making money from the community, from their investment, we can only do so much for them, right? We can only present so much value to them on just events that are going to be all cost, right? And so we're like, okay, well, I think we got to go there. And so I think where we've landed is now we have this like very robust system of like the customer journey. Like used to be very clunky, and it was like Instagram. I think we calculated it.
You went through it.
Yeah, it was like, and I think you're one of the last few people to ever do this. Like, thank God, because like it was an awful experience. Awful. But it's like we took you from like Instagram to like
Beacons.
Yeah. To Beacons, to Substack, to Calendly, to scheduling a call, to Venmo, to Partyful, to the dinner, right? And that's like 7 or 8 platforms right there. And we're like, we just need to centralize it. So now we have this platform, and it's like you are getting like the top of the top, like very, very, very curated. Like you go through this, we get your questions, everything's happening through the platform. And so what it's going to evolve to be now is like, we don't, just because we grow the community and we scale does not mean we want to stop telling the story, right? And so we're going to be like, the aspiration is, to be a hospitality and media company. So it's like, we have the scale dinners, we have the communities that have been built out in like major cities around the world. But at the same time, we're enabled to go and like, go back to the roots and like send us to like Japan, whatever it might be. Like they would never say yes to something like this. Go to Japan. They would never say, like, no one's going to know who we are. Yeah. Like, and we don't want people to know who we are. And so put us out there and let's tell the story of like what it means to go out in a place like that and prove not only like the narrative wrong that these people wouldn't be welcoming or receptive to this idea, but let's show how they connect, right? Let's show how like what unfolds from that. Like that London dinner, number 2 specifically, number 1 was great. Number 2 specifically was like one of, if not my favorite dinner of all time. And that was a dinner that we like, it's a great story. Like, and it'll be on the YouTube eventually, but we challenged ourselves to throw a dinner with £0, right? No money.
Okay.
And so we were like, we had already pulled it off. We had done the dinner, right? So it's like, okay, the first challenge, dinner number 1. Can we even do it? Okay, so we do it. And it goes really well. Dinner number 2 is no money. Now you got to rely on the kindness of strangers to like provide the food, the venue, the drinks, the dessert, the after party, whatever it might be. And so we're like, okay, let's do it. So we go out and we get our 8 like pretty easily. Like, you know, we had some like, you know, down periods when we were in the wrong areas, but like we get our 8, really good, really diverse group. Now we need to find food, and it's like 6 hours until the dinner, 5 hours until the dinner, whatever it is. And we're like, shoot, like, I don't know. How are we going to pull this off? So we go back to square one. We write on the back of the sign, are you a giving and or kind person? Sorry, are you a giving and kind person and or a chef? You don't need to be a good person, but like, can you cook? You know? And so we walk around like,
you guys have done some crazy thing with signs.
So we walk around like Notting Hill. And I kid you not, like we hold up that sign for, this is on video and you'll see it eventually, but we hold it up for like, I think it was like 5 seconds. And this girl kind of just like, you know, almost like breaks her neck looking at the sign and then turns back. She goes, what's this about? That's a horrible accent, whatever. And we're like, we tell her, well, you know, we're trying to do this thing and whatever. And she was like, it's like, okay, like I'm sometimes kind, I'm sometimes giving, and I like to cook. Like, okay, well, you know, we kind of pitch her on it and she was like, yeah, I could like cook like how many people? 10 people. Okay, sure. Like I could do that. Then we got to be like, yeah, but you also got to like buy the ingredients and like fund it because we're trying to rely on the kindness of strangers. She goes, you know what? I'm trying to do something nice. I'm trying to be a kinder person, whatever. She's like, her name's Zoe, by the way. And she's like the best.
Love Zoe.
And so she's like, I can do it. Why don't you swing around my place at like 7:30, come pick up the food. She's making pasta, come pick it up and then like, and then just take it and that'll be it. And we're like, okay. But in my mind, I'm like, that's not good enough. Like, like on her part, yes, it's good enough. But from what we can squeeze out of this experience, we can do more. So I go, Zoe, would you be down if we actually just came to your place at 6 p.m. and cooked with you in your home? Would you be cool with that? And she was like, yeah, I suppose. And we're like, are you serious? So then we end up going to this girl's place at 6 p.m. And this girl didn't even want to sit at the table. We felt bad. We're like, the table's already full, but
Did you ask?
Yeah, of course we asked.
She didn't want to come.
She was like, I am just got from a trip. I'm not really feeling up for it, but I'd love to do something nice. So we get to her apartment and it was so surreal. Like for us, like to be in this girl's apartment,
like a proper Londoner
townhouse,
proper Londoner too.
Londoner. She like gave us some wine. We cooked some like really good food. Well, some food. And then 30 minutes before the dinner, someone backs out.
Yeah.
And
this is like a classic pitfall with like the content. It's like when we're not charging for a dinner, right? In London, it's like like $10 just so we can cover the cost. In it. Right. Exactly. So it's like something came up or I'm not feeling it, whatever. People will pull out like last minute, and the part of the thrill of it is we got to figure out how to fill that seat. So in that moment, like we get this text, I'm not feeling socially brave enough. Literally verbatim. That's what the girl said. I'm not feeling socially brave enough. I fear I'm not socially brave enough to do this. And then me and my brother are like, fuck, like, dude, we have like 45 minutes till dinner. Yeah. What are we going to do? And at the same time, we both are like, point to Zoe. And she was like, yeah, like I'll come. And so we like start celebrating. We get the food. We get in an Uber. We get to the venue, right? We get to this apartment. We sit down, people start funneling in, and it didn't need to be cracked. It was like, it was incredible off the bat. Finally get around the table. The food is served. Take the first bite. And I love Zoe so much, but like that food was awful. But you know what the best part about it is like, I loved it though. Like we didn't need the food to be great. It was the fact that there was food at all at the table. Like, are you kidding me? 6 hours before, we didn't even know what we were going restaurant to restaurant asking for donations. Yeah. Like, we didn't even know where the food was going to come from. And then out of nowhere, this very kind and giving and like sometimes chef girl like comes out of nowhere and is like, I will help you. So I could give two shits about how good the food is. I'm putting that soggy meatball down any day. Pause. So, but it was such a good dinner, and that dinner, like, not profitable, no profit on our end, didn't make any money from it.
I think you guys did profit. You have that amazing story.
No, yeah, of course. Financially, though, it's like, but the point is, like, we still want to be able to tell those stories of like down and out. What do we do? Yeah. And that's one that's like so fun and like so cool to talk about. Yeah. So yeah, and it was like one of the best dinners we've done. It was sick. It had everything. We had some crazy characters.
It had everything.
Yeah.
I want to keep this going, but we got to wrap this up.
No worries.
But before we get off, I want to ask you two questions.
Yeah.
First question is, if you were to have your pick, 8 people at your dinner table tonight, any celebrity, people you know,
oof,
people you haven't had yet, who would you put at the table?
Interesting.
It's a good question.
It is a good question because I have like.
Have you guys thought about it ever?
Yes.
I actually haven't. I've not. I've thought about blind date all stars for sure, but like if they've already been to the table, then I guess it's void.
Celebrities. I would love to have personally, Barack Obama would be great.
That's a good one.
Lionel Messi, even though you probably couldn't understand him.
He's a listener.
He is a listener. Who else? Like Dakota Johnson.
Good voice.
Great voice. Honestly, I'd love to have like a criminal there.
A criminal.
We met one today.
Did not expect that answer.
Yeah, I think. Well, actually, a funny story is like when I was 17 or 18, I was like interviewing for like doing my alumni interview for Duke.
Yeah.
And they asked me like this question, but it was like, who are the 3 people you'd?
Yeah, that's a very common question.
And then I said Bernie Madoff, and the guy was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just like to understand his psychology, like how he got to that point."
Yeah.
So Sam Bankman-Fried, I'll take him. And on that note, give me Mangione.
I was about to say Luigi, dude. Our cousin.
Yeah. Who else? I don't know.
I mean, my age. Oh, man, that's a good question. I would also say Barack Obama. That'd be insane. I think I would love to get Barron to the table.
Baron Ryan.
Yeah. Who's that?
He's a pretty big creator that we just shot like a behind the scenes episode with. He just does like he's in film and he does like kind of content like short form films.
Okay.
He's a very creative guy. But we were out with him and he's just like so witty and just like has such a funny energy about him. So like I feel like having him at the table would be very entertaining. I think selfishly like Dua Lipa. Just cause I think she's
cut it. Isabel, he didn't mean that.
I like her music a lot. I actually do. I really do.
She has great music. Any comedian? Shane Gillis. Shane Gillis would be hilarious.
Shane Gillis would be good.
Who would be at yours?
Kevin Hart. You said comedian. I was like, I would love Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
At the table.
Kevin Hart would be.
It'd be hilarious. You put Kevin Hart and Barack Obama, dude. Like that's hilarious.
I mean, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think. You know who'd be good? Soccer player. I feel like what's his name?
David Beckham.
No, dude, I'm like really blanking right now. I think Pogba.
I don't know.
He's run out of people.
Okay. I've run out of people.
Paul Pogba's crazy.
Pogba would be good. He's got a good personality.
Yeah.
Maybe like a fashion designer or two would be cool. I don't know. I've never really given thought to this question.
The Stussy art director.
Dude, foul. I wish we had time to tell that story, but maybe that's for
I mean, we can always do another pod.
Yeah.
I'm always down, dude. I mean, we clearly have a ton to talk about. Yeah.
Last question before we leave.
Yeah.
You guys are huge in hospitality.
Yeah.
Right?
The biggest.
The biggest.
Massive. Bigger than you thought.
Bigger than I thought. What are the 3 hottest takes that you guys have on the hospitality industry?
Icebreakers are awful.
Yep.
I have heard that. You've said that before.
Icebreakers are lazy.
I think icebreakers are one of the worst things to ever be created by humankind.
Damn. All right.
Truly. It's a social crutch that doesn't allow you to like break through uncomfortable situations. I can talk for like hours about that, but that's one hot take. Icebreakers are horrible. What else for hospitality?
Hot takes. I think the value of a host is very underrated.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing that we talk about a lot is like the reason blind date is so special is because like, yes, there's a lot of things, but like if there was no host and there's blind date is not like anywhere near what it is because you need that central figure to kind of like guide you, welcome you, make you feel at home. And I think that like there's not enough praise for people who are like great hosts. Like at a restaurant when you step in the door, like I would say more often than not, like the person at the host end is like not very like welcoming. Like you
don't really expect it either.
Yeah, you don't really expect because you've grown accustomed to like them being maybe short on patience, kind of like their eyes are always down. There's no eye contact. There's very, very seldomly is there like I have to tell you who my reservation is for. You should already know who it's for. Not because I'm like a face you need to recognize, but it's like if you're a really good host, you know who the people are. You know what time the people are supposed to come in. You've done your research. You can easily find out what someone looks like, right? You're like, oh, your table's right this way. We're so happy to have you, whatever it is. I think the value of like actually like the unreasonable hospitality is so underrated because it's like if you were to translate that, not even in a culinary environment, like if you like a car salesman or like a podcast host, right? Like if you take those principles and apply them to your field and you're facing somebody like as a guest or as a customer, whatever it is, like your chances of having them as a repeat customer and then word of mouth and this and that is so much higher because it's like, dude, like one day you'll own your own like podcast studio, right? And you'll have run of show and there will be people at the front and like the difference between people walking into your room, sitting down on your chairs and like you being like, hey, what's up? Like happy to have you versus like someone greeting me at the door. They have like my favorite drink in hand. And like they walk me to the room, they start conversation, they get me already feeling at home, and then by the time I sit down, I'm fucking pumped to like talk.
Yeah,
like those little things, I think super underrated in the hospitality industry.
Yeah, to that point, my third take is that I think great service gets conflated with great hospitality, which means that service when you go to a restaurant. And you probably see this when, like, if you go to a Michelin star restaurant or super fancy restaurant, service is like the actual execution of from when you get to the door to leave the door, like the way that the wine is placed by the waiter, the way that the wine is poured by the waiter, the way that the plate is served, the way that the plate is cleared. It's the actual execution and tactical steps of like serving someone. Mm-hmm. Hospitality is the human element. And I think there's a lot of people who go to a fancy restaurant and they think here's how I'll say this. I will take a like hospitable like diner where the people make me feel at home over a Michelin star restaurant that has perfect execution of the service any day of the week.
Why?
Because I think that like being in a space where you feel welcome, like he just said, like that lets you kind of let loose and like relax into the night and actually creates like really unforgettable moments, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas like service, yes, it's like awesome that like the food is so well done, and like the wine glasses are set like precisely, and everything like that is just like to a T.
Yeah.
But it's a little stale, and it's a little too what's the word, like sterile. Yeah. It's too sterile.
Like I'll put it like this super quickly, is like I think about it like I've had some great meals in my life, and I like will never forget like those places that I've had those meals. But could I actually explain to you how that meal tasted? No. What I can explain to you is how it made me feel.
Yeah.
Right? So if I go to a restaurant and I have one of the best meals of my life, like, yeah, 5 years down the road, I'm not going to be able to tell you shit about what texture and this and that.
Yeah. But
if a waiter or a server or like the host or whatever went out of their way to like make me feel welcome and expected, I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life, because it's tangible, like that feeling, right? But like taste and words, like same thing. Maya Angelou, she quoted it, right? It's like, you'll never remember the words people say, but you'll remember the way they made you feel, right? That's like fact. It's just fact. And so I fully agree. Yeah. Like making people feel at home is like the most important. It's an underutilized skill. It's an underutilized like teaching in the hospitality industry. Honestly, I think they need to start calling it like the service industry, because it's like it doesn't feel hospitable many times.
Yeah.
So anyways, those are my hot takes. Those are our hot takes.
Really powerful.
Yeah.
Carlo, Alessandro, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Dude, thanks for having us, man.
Pod.
This is great.
This
Dude,
you're a great
awesome.
You're a great podcast host, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Best podcast you've ever been on.
I hope Blind Date does really well. I want to get you guys back.
Yeah,
in about a year, see like what the progress is.
Dude, oh, man. Absolutely.
Hopefully by that point, you actually are having dinners on like a baseball field or something like that.
And I hope I can get my favorite drink in my hand.
I hope I can.
All right. To that point, what is your favorite drink?
Oh man.
So the next time I know.
It depends what time of the day. It's a great point. Depends on the time of the day. If it's like in the morning, like a good London fog. If it's in the night, then probably like a you know what I'm talking about, a London fog Earl Grey tea with some vanilla in there.
I've never heard you. What? I've never even heard you say the words London fog.
It's an intimate thing.
Only my girlfriend knows.
All right, we'll wrap it up with that. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Bro, absolutely.
Appreciate it.